Welcome back, friends. In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about plate carriers. Now, not the expert, but I can do research just as well as the next guy. And of course, I have some trusted sources that help me out with this. So first off, why does a guy or a woman, why would you want a plate carrier, body armor, that sort of thing? Well, because it's our right to have them. We still live in the freest country in the world, and you need to exercise those rights, and you should have these things. For us, Mrs. W and I, we like to take tactical carbine classes. Body armor is kind of mandatory in some of those classes. Plus, it's just good common sense. I mean, do I have to go into it? If you don't understand that, then you might want to look into it. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So probably like you guys, you've heard the term buy once, cry once, right? Well, I learned my lessons slow, and I end up buying everything twice because I just can't stand shelling out the money for the good stuff the first time. And body armor, plate carriers, man, I am very guilty. Like you guys, I was very tempted by the sales that you see around Christmas time, like from AR500 and stuff, and they advertise these really great deals on plate carriers and body armor, and it's just too much to resist. I'll tell you, when I bought this as part of the set for Mrs. W and I wasn't even looking for it, but I got the ad, and I thought, boy, that's a heck of a deal. Buy one, get one free type of thing. Of course, I ordered it. What do you get for that? Well, you get a Chinese, overseas-made, big, bulky, fairly uncomfortable, unwieldy, not very practical or usable chest rig that is of poor quality. And for us, and I would imagine a lot of you guys have done the same, just because it's just so cheap, the steel AR500 plates, right? Well, after doing a little research, and well, forget the research. Have you tried to wear a pair of steel plates around for 8 hours? Do you have these things in the closet and you're thinking, well, if things get bad or I need to defend my home or whatever, I'm going to throw those plates in, I'm going to be good. Well, I have worn them and they're terrible. Well, people are going to say, well, you need to bulk up, you need to man up, right? Try hanging these on your wife. Try hanging these on your wife and see how well that goes. You know, it's not going to happen. It's not realistic. I'm not a hardcore, at the peak of fitness operator that could handle something like this. I'm just an ordinary guy, and I can't hang with the steel plates. When you add the magazines and all the other things you have to carry, it's kind of ridiculous. Not to mention all of the issues with spalling and you know, all. I'm not going to go into it, but this is better than nothing, but not ideal. I mean, these things are heavy. Okay, so without it out of the way, I had to be realistic about it. You know, I'm wearing them around, I'm practicing, I'm training with them, and they're just crushing me. They're making my knees hurt, they're so heavy. So I started looking for something else. Not to mention the plate carrier is pretty terrible. I mean, look how big and bulky it is, and it's pretty heavy on its own right. Uncomfortable shoulders, not a lot of great adjustability. I mean, they're just not great. Again, better than nothing, but not great. So I went on the hunt. I thought, okay, I need something that is actually usable. I need something that I'm actually going to wear, that I can still move, that's not too heavy, that's going to grow with me and not get obsolete. And that's when I turned to my man Grantham, because he's a military guy. He actually uses these things for a living, and he does great videos. And so I really appreciate his channel, because I don't have to go and wade into the world of all. I mean, it's how do you know? I mean, there's so much stuff. How do you know? So it's nice to have those resources you can trust. So I just went with Lucas from T-Rex Arms uses it, Grantham, two guys I really like to watch. I bit the bullet and bought the good stuff. So let's go over that, and I'll show you why I like it, why it's so much better than the overseas Chinese stuff. This is my personal rig here. This is the Overt by Spiritus. Now, this stuff is among the best of the best. All Berry compliant, all USA made, of the latest, greatest materials and craftsmanship. So what's cool about the Spiritus system, and if you really want the skinny on this from a pro, you know, again, don't turn this off and go over and watch Grantham. You know, I'm basically parroting what I learned from him. So what's cool about the Spiritus system is that you can custom design it and build it exactly what you want, and it's never going to go obsolete. So when you make the investment in this, it's so modular that if something radically changes, or weapon system, or you change over to, say you go from AR to AK, you're not reinvesting in everything. I'm not covering plates today. That'll be a second video. So here's the basic system. So we have two. We have the overt and the covert. So the covert is the minimalistic one. This is the lowest profile one that they make. This is the smallest package that you can basically get. How you buy this stuff is you buy a back panel, this is the back panel right here, and you buy a front panel, and you choose what cummerbund system you wanted. So I wanted something that was absolutely minimalistic, something that you could put underneath clothing and no one would know that you had it. This here is so light, I mean there's just nothing to it, and what's inside is we have, this is just a soft body armor configuration, but we have right here, what's this, level 3 plus. Basically, this is it was going to stop a handgun round, up to 44 Magnum, if memory serves. Very light, super thin, just unbelievably well built, fascinating materials, clever design. When you put this thing on, it is like someone giving you a hug. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, just the way it feels. You can even remove the buckles if you don't want those poking into you, if you really, really wanted to go low profile. But this is it. This is as small as it gets. So now this is what will be set up here for Jack. He's smaller. You know, he's skinny kid. You know, he can't handle lots of weight and lots of stuff like a grown man can. So I wanted something that was he could expand with, but was also not going to bog him down. I mean, this weighs nothing, maybe a pound or two, if that. So the cool thing about the Placard system, and that's what this is with the buckles here, is you can get this in any configuration. You can get it with pockets. You can get it. This is just the basic 5.56 mag configuration, and how it works is, when you put this on, you have these straps here that you can stick on the Velcro. They go around you, the cummerbund, I guess you call it. Stick on there, and then your placard snaps into the Fastex and then closes shut right there. Boom, just like that. So very minimalistic system. You've got front plate, rear plate. You've got 3 mag carriers. You can add different things to it if you need to, but that is pretty hard to beat. You could throw that on. You could go to the store or outside. No one would even know you had it. And if you wore a jacket, you could even have your rifle mags in there, and you are set. So this is the lightest weight. This is the Covert plate carrier. Now to mine, I wanted something that could handle a little bit more weight, so I went with the Overt. Now this gives you a few more attachment items. You've got some MOLLE weaving and different things up there. How I configured mine now is the 3 mags right here. We've got the AR mags, and this is the same thing that you just saw. Right there, the placard. Now, the cool thing about this is that if you had your plate carrier on and you wanted to set this placard up for different weapon systems, let's say maybe a tactical shotgun or a designated marksman, 308 magazines, all you have to do is to buy the appropriate panel here on the front. It will snap in there, and in 30 seconds, you can completely swap out your plate carrier to accommodate any need that you had or any upgrades in the future. This is super, super clever. And you can add lots of interesting things to it. You know, one thing that I'm always in need of is just a bag to put little things, you know, little batteries or who knows. So there's all sorts of options for extra bags. This is an abdominal bag, which I thought was a little bit weird when I was ordering it, but you know, the guy said it was good, and it really is. I've been using it, and what's nice about it is the fact that it floats. You can pick it up, you can get into it. When you kneel down or crouch, it doesn't jab you in the abdomen. It kind of floats along there. It's very, very good. It's got an integrated bungees there, so you can put a tourniquet on there. And for me, you know, I mean, I'm not Joe Tactical guy, but a couple things that I want. I keep some earplugs in here, some extra batteries for lasers, lights, and that sort of thing. In here, I'm still kind of fleshing all this out, what I'm going to put in here, but I'm just kind of leaving this open for night vision. I could put the PVS 14 or whatever. I can put that in there. You can put medical supplies in there. Lots of different options. It's just going to depend on what you need. Now, the plate carrier itself is very similar to the small one, the Covert. But again, there's more attachment points in here. If you have to run wires and different things, there's lots of place for that. It's all integrated. It's very clever. The system is easy to install. Once you have to decide on a cummerbund. You know, they'll have like 4 or 5 different options on these. This one I think is the tubular one, and this is, of course, is all MOLLE on there, so you can weave body armor on the side. You could do radio pouches. You could do whatever you needed to do. And this particular one has a very clever release system too, that you can get out of it very quickly. It's very easy to don and doff because you just simply pull this piece of shock cord right here, and then this comes out. and both sides are the same. And you can load it from the bottom or you can load it from the top. You simply insert that in there, it clicks, locks into the middle, very comfortable. I've also noticed that this style of cummerbund is very light. I really like it. And here you can see you can weave things on there. So for me, what I need is I want the 3 magazines. I want to have a little place for maybe some medical supplies, some quick clot, Israeli bandage, that sort of thing. But having a bag on my non-shooting side is super handy too. I mean, these are typically what I'll carry in there, maybe some safety glasses. It just depends. I mean, it's just nice to have a few options. If you have a magazine if you're doing some training and it's empty, you don't want to drop it on the ground, you can throw it in there. So, you know, things are going to change. It's hard to say. The more I train with it, the more I learn. But this is my basic setup right here. I forget what these are called, but we use these at our wildland packs to hold gloves and radio cables. These little quick lock things are very handy. I'll put my gloves on there. Never put your gloves down because you'll walk away from them. Always clip your gloves on something. But that right there is the Overt, the bigger one. Now for armor on here, same as Jack's, because actually we don't have our rifle plates yet. They should be here probably today or tomorrow. And if there's interest, I'll show you with that. But we got latest gen, 2 full sets of proper rifle plates up to, you know, similar to what Sappy's style or shape that the military would have. So when you're doing your cummerbund, also, the worst part about this, or the one that takes the most time, is the initial setup. So it gives you the shock cord, and then you basically can have to, depending on how big you are, you'll have to just weave these in here. So you can adjust them. If you need to adjust them on the fly on this style with this tubular type of webbing, you know, for cold weather or warm weather, you might have to move these out. But the fact that they're hooked on with shock cord, they're very expandable. Like if you take a deep breath, they give you enough movement, range of movement, motion where you don't feel uncomfortable. I found them to be pretty good for my limited understanding and use. But I'll tell you, these plate carriers equipped with the soft body armor, this level 3 plus stuff is unbelievably light. It is so trim, so thin, and so usable compared to that old stuff. I can't even tell you the difference. Let me throw it on and I'll just kind of give you a little demo and just you can see what it looks like on. This is what the Overt looks like with the soft body panels. I'm going to be swapping these out to the rifle plates, and if there's interest, we can talk about that a little bit as well. But this is amazingly compact. I don't really feel it. Carries the weight really good. I feel very portable in it. I feel that I can be very athletic. There's no movement. Magazine indexing is quite simple. It's not as fast as some of the ones with the Kydex insert, but everything comes at a cost. You know, you start adding bulk and weight and all of that. And I'm not a force recon Marine. You know, I don't need to carry 100 pounds of gear around there. I just need these essential things. The Abdominal Bag, I almost didn't order that, but I would encourage you to get that. That is very, very excellent. To have these pouches here, to be able to quickly access things. You could throw your phone in there. There's just so many different things. Having the bag on the side may or may not work for me, but it is handy. You could throw a suppressor in there. You could throw a multi-tool in there. You could throw a bottle of water in there, some snacks, whatever. Having that on your non-shooting side or your non-dominant side, it doesn't seem to bother too much. I wouldn't want to overstuff it a great deal, but this is just a handy little bag that I bought years ago that I've just found to be super useful. What else is there? You got places to put radios, lots of different things. Some guys will weave tourniquets in here. They even have these little wing pouches that will snap or that will kind of hook onto the Velcro, where you can put a radio pouch inside and snug that tight so nothing's bouncing. But the thing about this is it's very trim, very slight. I mean, even as it's configured now, I could put a heavy coat on there and most people wouldn't even know that you had a plate carrier on, and this is the bigger one. Let me throw the small one on, and I'll show you kind of the difference. Before I do that, I wanted to show you the latching system right here. So when you want to get out of the thing, you can see it's plastic, but man, it's nice stuff. It really feels high quality. So it's locked in there. It's not going to come out. When you need to get out, you just simply grab this tab, pull it, and you can take it up or down, as long as you release that, and it comes right out. So very easy to put on. You can put it on from the bottom, so it snaps in. You can take it out from the top if you prefer that, and do the same thing. This is the minimalistic, this is the Covert with just the single band cummerbund. And this, instead of having those plastic deals, you just have the Velcro that wrap there and stick on there, and you can adjust it. So this is really flexible. If you are going to put a coat on or change your clothing, or even different size people, it'd be very quickly. You could go from Mrs. W wearing it to Jack, back and forth, very simple. It's not really that tailor-made. But, of course, you still have a lot of those same capabilities. So if you want to add that placard, of course, you just snap it in there. You could mix and match. You can exchange. You know, that will snap in there and stick on, and whatever you want, you're going to have. So really good system, especially if you're going to wear something under clothing. This would be good. And this, you literally do not know you have it on. It is so light with these, with the soft body plates. Of course, once we get into, or body armor, we get into the rifle plates, you know, they are what they are. It's going to be pretty big. But those are bad enough on their own, but just consider the difference between this big, heavy, bulky thing compared to this here, which essentially does the same thing. This here has a few more capabilities, meaning more attachment points and such, but how many, you know, as a civilian, do you really need? You need a few mags, maybe a place to stick a radio, maybe a first aid kit, and some basic things like that. So it's a great system. It's really nice shooting with. We've been working on that and trying things out, you know, and to have the ability to not to hinder rifle movement. It's easy to draw from because it's so slim for your secondary. It's just a very good, very nice feeling system. Works really good with slings too. When you sling up, I'm trying to hit my microphone here. Yeah, it's going to hit that. But it carries nice and close to the body. You don't have a lot of problems. It's very good. I haven't worn all of the body armor, so I'm not the expert, as I said. But I've worn the cheap stuff, lots of different styles of that, and it's not great. So make sure you try it. Maybe it works for you. Maybe you found the exception, but I find it to be bulky, uncomfortable, shifting around, and just all around pretty poor for real serious use. So that's it. Why am I doing these videos? Well, I read a comment yesterday from one of you that said, just when I was saying that I might not be doing as many videos because there's so many things to do around here, and I heard same thing from several people. Just do whatever you can. You know, we're sitting at home. We don't have a lot to watch. It's boring here, and it's nice to have something to look forward to and to watch. And so I'll try to do that. It seems, and there'll probably be repercussions, but damn the repercussions with YouTube. They seem to have relaxed the standards a little bit, putting things up, testing the waters. You know, they're not just dropping the demonetization hammer. We may all be punished for it later, but we'll take that as it comes. But for now, they seem to be kind of taking a hands-off approach. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to continue. We'll see. But thanks for watching. Chickens are coming today. I thank you for all of your advice, those of you who are real farmers, about getting in over my head. We did cancel a bunch of the chickens. We're going to hold it to 15. So I think that's more manageable and not try to mix flocks. So we're going to keep it simple. Maybe we can add more to that in the future. But those are coming today. I'll get on camera the Sweet Loaf's first impression with the chickens because she hasn't stopped jabbering about them for 12 hours. So I think it's going to be pretty fun. So thanks for watching. Keep us in your prayers. This is not a paid endorsement. I should have said that at the beginning. I paid full price just like everyone else. I'm not saying this because I've been paid to. This just seemed to me to be the best option for us. So thanks for watching. Keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you guys on the next video.